my job of parish outreach. I go to the parishes and find out what their needs are and how we can support them. And out in the rural counties, what I kept hearing was there's a lot of poverty, a lot of hunger. There are some pantries, but they're few and they're spread out, and people can't even get to pantries. And so we thought, what if we bring food out to them? And initially we thought we would do a mobile pantry and where we would drive around to different areas, but there was a limit of how much food we could bring out. And what we really wanted to do was supplement. If they go to a food pantry, you might get 3-4 days worth of food. And what we thought is if we could bring enough food to get them through a week or so, then they can use that money for other things, or they may be getting food stamps, but that money runs out and it doesn't even last a whole month. So let's help supplement that.
I think there's probably, I don't really want to say more needy people in the rural area, but rural areas don't necessarily get the information that the city people might, because we are rural, we are out in the country, or whatever they want to call it. It's not, in a big town or popular town, so information don't necessarily get out as well as it might inside a city, big city limits or something. We
bring the food into the church and distribute it. We can bring 30 to 40 different food items at a time. And we can bring fresh produce, we get eggs, we've got meat that we usually provide. And so we try to bring healthy food as well as, a larger quantity of food when we come out. And so a lot of the parishes out in the rural area can't get to the services that we have in Hamilton County. And so this was a way for us to go out and bring our services to them. And it's been well received.
I was diagnosed with pancreas cancer in 2012, and I shouldn't even be alive today. I mean, by the grace of God I am, but I shouldn't even be alive today. I mean, I had 4% chance of even living in 2012. And, but by the grace of God, I'm still here. I have a lot of problems. I don't even get a check right now. I haven't had a check in over 1.5 years. So this food does mean a lot to me.
When we started, our original plan was to do 2 pantries a month. But when we heard the need that was out there, the community said, if you're only going to come every quarter, it's not going to be as big of a help. And so proposed to my boss that we do 5 a month. And so we do each county once a month. And so we've been doing that, and it's been growing each time as we go, the number of people we serve. It can be anywhere between 150 people, families, not people, but 150 families each time, to our largest, like 250, almost 300 families in Adams County. Typically we need about 20 volunteers to have it run pretty smoothly, to unloading the truck and passing out the food and registering people for the pantry. And to me, one of the other things is it's not as much about the food, also it's about that relationship. When we start each pantry, we gather all the volunteers together, we go over some of the ground rules. So if someone's never been here before, how's this going to work? How do we do this? And one of the things that we try to stress is the dignity of that person. When somebody's coming through that line, we're not there to judge them in any way. And so to see them as a human being and the struggles, imagine what their struggles are, and then to treat them with that respect. And so one thing that's nice about the pantry is it's a fun place to go to. And we've had people come back to us who, for the first time, go through this pantry and come back and say, this is not like any other pantry I've ever been to.
There's a lot of people, it helps them to have food to make it through the month, because a lot are on some of them very low fixed income every month. And it just gives an extra boost to assure that they'll have, a few extra meals, enough for most people a week, So it just helps them, and if they get something they don't particularly care for, they'll share it with other residents who may not have been able to come over here.
Your generation touches, thousands, because we're talking about thousands of people. It's not one person in the family, it's 2 or 3 or 5, Your donation touches thousands of lives. I don't know what it's like to be hungry, to be really hungry. We're very fortunate in this country that many of us don't know what it's like, You're missing 1 meal or 2 meals is not hunger. You got people who really don't have food. And so, to be able to provide that to people who really are hungry, and don't know when their next meal is. At the pantry in here today, the pastor prays for everybody, that's given to that campaign. He said one time in prayer, I don't know who those people are, but I'm praying and I'm thankful for everybody who gave money to make this happen. And so without that money, this wouldn't be possible. You know, we get food from the free store, but it's not all free. And so there's an expense. We get food at a reduced price, but it costs something, you know, and we have a staff member who coordinates that. There's a cost there. And so without the support of people in the Archdiocese, these families wouldn't have this food.
It helps because I'm one of those that's on a very, very limited budget, very limited income. And I use stuff, some stuff that other people might not eat. You know, I take and make a big meal, and I live alone, me and my little doggy, so if I fix a full meal, I share it with other residents that don't have or aren't able to get out. I could take a box of macaroni and cheese, a can of tuna, and a can of peas, and feed 4 or 5 people.
I think it's very important for them to keep this one going. You know, without them, we'd really be hurt, you know, and to the supporters of it, they have to be good people to donate, you know, money to feed people they don't even know, you know, to care that much. And I just hope they keep doing it, because there's people out here that really need it.